good morning. Can you hear me? Nothing? Is that better? Okay, good. Not sure what's going on. Okay, so good. You can. Good morning. Can you hear me? Nothing? Is that better? Okay, good. Not sure what's going on. Okay, so good. You can. Good morning. Can you hear me? Nothing? Is that better? Okay, good. Not sure what's going on. Okay, so good. You can. Good morning. Can you hear me? Nothing? Is that better? Okay, good. Not sure what's going on. Okay, so good. You can. Good morning. Can you hear me? Nothing? Is that better? Okay, good. Not sure what's going on. Okay, so good. You can. Good morning. Can you hear me? Nothing? Is that better? Okay, good. Not sure what's going on. Okay, so good. You can. Good morning. Can you hear me? Nothing? Is that better? Okay, good. Not sure what's going on. Okay, so good. You can. Good morning. Can you hear me? Nothing? Is that better? Okay, good. Not sure what's going on. Okay, so good. You can. Good morning. Can you hear me? Nothing? Is that better? Okay, good. Not sure what's going on. Okay, so good. You can. Good morning. Can you hear me? Nothing? Is that better? Okay, good. Not sure what's going on. Okay, so good. You can. Good morning. Can you hear me? Nothing? Is that better? Okay, good. Not sure what's going on. Okay, so good. You can. Good morning. Can you hear me? Nothing? Is that better? Okay, good. Not sure what's going on. Okay, so good. You can. Good morning. Can you hear me? Nothing? Is that better? Okay, good. Not sure what's going on. Okay, so good. You can. Good morning. Can you hear me? Nothing? Is that better? Okay, good. Not sure what's going on. Okay, so good. You can. Good morning. Can you hear me? Nothing? Is that better? Okay, good. Not sure what's going on. Okay, so good. You can. Good morning. Can you hear me? Nothing? Is that better? Okay, good. Not sure what's going on. Okay, so good. You can. Good morning. Can you hear me? Nothing? Is that better? Okay, good. Not sure what's going on. Okay, so good. You can. Good morning. Can you hear me? Nothing? Is that better? Okay, good. Not sure what's going on. Okay, so good. You can. Good morning. Can you hear me? Nothing? Is that better? Okay, good. Not sure what's going on. Okay, so good. You can. Good morning. Can you hear me? Nothing? Is that better? Okay, good. Not sure what's going on. Okay, so good. You can. Good morning. Can you hear me? Nothing? Is that better? Okay, good. Not sure what's going on. Okay, so good. You can. Good morning. Can you hear me? Nothing? Is that better? Okay, good. Not sure what's going on. Okay, so good. You can. Good morning. Can you hear me? Nothing? Is that better? Okay, good. Not sure what's going on. Okay, so good. You can. Good morning. Can you hear me? Nothing? Is that better? Okay, good. Not sure what's going on. Okay, so good. You can. Good morning. Can you hear me? Nothing? Is that better? Okay, good. Not sure what's going on. Okay, so good. You can. Good morning. Can you hear me? Nothing? Is that better? Okay, good. Not sure what's experience and experience like me. Same concept, but now on top of text and CSV files. Being able to extract data from a file like the one you see here with line divided records with company names and contact names and titles and phone numbers. You can use the text connector and the extract table using examples capability to, again, be able to type values and extract what you need from this page. Text CSV by example is available in Power BI Desktop. It's available in Power Query Online since November last year. It's also coming soon to Excel Desktop, hopefully later this year itself. Here's an interesting scenario, bringing in data from Excel. And as we know, data from Excel's files is never in the right shape. Look at this example, a spreadsheet, 3 rectangles of data. None of them are actually formatted as tables. Let's actually try and bring those 3 rectangles of data into Power Query. I'm going to use Power BI Desktop, just connecting to that file. By default, what you would get is a single spreadsheet that contains, let me actually maximize this, a single spreadsheet that contains the smallest rectangle of data that has all the non-empty cells in the worksheet. But we invested on this suggested tables capability that applies a lot of smart heuristics behind the scenes to be able to extract the logical rectangles of data from your spreadsheet. This feature is available in Power BI desktops and, for a couple of years now, almost. It's something that we recently shipped in Power Query Online, and it's something that's coming to Excel very, very soon as well. Switching gears a little bit, let me actually talk really quickly about Fussy join capabilities in Power Query. We have them in 3 different places. Number 1 place is merge. So you can actually apply Fussy logic to combine data across different tables, like in this case, fruit names with different spelling variations. A second example is group by. Imagine a table like the one there in the background with employee names and the number of units they sold and on each of the weeks. And us wanting to actually accumulate all of that into total units sold per employee. And of course, having different spellings on some of those names, but also different names like, you know, Bill and Will and William and things like that. We can actually define translations, synonyms, and just refine these heuristics so we end up with something like what you see on the right. The third way of actually applying Fussy logic in Power Query is neither joining data nor conflating rows, but actually just inserting a new column to data with Fussy clustering that allows you to define the clusterized value canonical representation for something like city names in this example. So we can actually just get that clean city column and just keep the rest of the table structure as it was. All right, we have a few more minutes. Wanted to do a quick recap on recently shipped Power Query Online features. This is my top 4 pick. The first one is actually file upload capabilities. So imagine you're just trying to bring a one-off local file into Power Query Online, like my customer's text file here. Rather than using an on-prem gateway to establish that connection, I could simply just select that file and we'll take care of actually uploading that file for you to OneDrive. So if you need to further modify it, you could also do that in the future. From there, it's just a regular experience to connect to a text file. So you can either browse for the file or drag and drop that file into the Get Data experience. A little accelerator, we also allow you now to drag and drop files into the query editor itself. And in this case, not only we upload the file for you, we also figure out the right connector for you to use. Another feature, we talked about it a couple minutes ago, text CSV by example is now also available within Power Query Online, so you can find that through the Get Data experience. The auto-detected Excel tables feature that we were talking about is now also in Power Query Online. So you can find it in the Excel workbook Get Data experience, in the Navigator experience. And the last one, more on the diagram view enhancements. So here's a complex data flow, relatively complex with 19 queries. If I were to just feed that to view, I'm not gonna get any value out of it, it's too tiny. We added a mini map feature, which you can access from the bottom right corner of the diagram view, that allows you to just navigate this in a much more rich way. Just clicking around, finding different sub areas within the diagram, clicking on queries to select them, which you can do through the mini map itself or through the queries pane. Zoom in and out, and you see the map update as well. And also a bunch of performance and scale optimizations we've applied recently to the diagram view to make it much more seamless and interactive. These are just my top picks for the last few months additions to the product. This is a more comprehensive list. We're very soon actually going to publish all of these to our Power Query, Power BI, and Power Platform blogs. So stay tuned for that announcement. We've added a few more things that are coming soon here that we'll incorporate as well. Talking about that, talking about what's coming next. As you can imagine, a lot of investment going into connectors. Connectors in Power Query Online today are still behind. We have about 55 connectors compared to the 160 connectors in desktop. We're working towards that full parity later this year, but even before that, one thing we're doing is bringing the data flows and database connectors into Excel, Power Query in Excel, to enable consumption of data from data flows and database in Excel. We continue enhancing our big data connectors, Redshift, BigQuery, Snowflake, Azure Synapse Analytics, bringing those capabilities to Power Query Online. We briefly touched on the browse capabilities during the demo. So we now have browse OneDrive files within Power Query Online. We plan to also add browse SharePoint sites files, like through your SharePoint site folders and files, and also SharePoint sites lists to each of those connectors. We continue adding new data transformations. Rank is the next one that we're planning to add, so you can rank rows in a table based on criteria across one or more columns. And a bunch more Power Query Editor enhancements, things like the global search bar, which I'm going to demo now, more diagram view and more query diagnostics capabilities. And last but not least, data flow management capabilities, monitoring, improved refresh history experiences, and a lot more things that we plan to do in data flows across Power BI and the Power Platform. The one demo I wanted to show you as coming soon is the global search bar. So first of all, by the way, single line ribbon, multi-line ribbon, you can expand, collapse, all that for even higher efficiency on the space. We just are about to ship this global search bar that allows you to type and find things within your data flow. You could type a query name or a subset of a query name and just find the hits and just click to select that query. But you could also type any command, for example, something like merge, and that will take care of actually using the current context and actually taking you into that operation. So no longer need to scroll and look for query names or switch between multiple tabs in the ribbon. If you know the name of the operation or the query that you're trying to get at, you can just type it in the global search bar and hit it to actually get to it. With that, I know we're coming down on time, so I just wanted to show the key resources to connect to learn more about Power Query and data flows. PowerQuery.com, aka.mesh, Power Query blog, Power Query docs, as we were saying, M docs with a full M formula language reference. With that, just wanted to open up for questions. I think we have 1 minute. I'm sorry about the late start. Thank you all. Please do remember to share your feedback about this session. There's the QR code. And I'll turn back to a moderator and let's take questions for the next few minutes.
Miguel, do you want me to read out the question? There's one question.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
So there's one question from Subin Thomas. The question is the new schema view available even on Power BI Query Editor?
Good question. The question is the schema view available in Power BI Desktop in the Query Editor? Overall, all the features I show you that are new in Power Query Online, they're not available in Power Query Desktop yet. Our team is working towards bringing all those features into Power Query Desktop, including Power BI Desktop and Excel at once, by fully replacing the Power Query Desktop experience with the Power Query Online user experience. So it's not like you will see a schema view show up a month, diagram view another month. There will be a big bang release, and I'm not telling you when, but I hope it will happen within this calendar year. We'll see. That's my wish. We'll actually get all of those features at once into Power Query Desktop.
Thank you, Miguel, for that. And yeah, I think most of the people are looking forward to that feature in
Nice.
Power
Yeah,
BI
that's no
Desktop.
surprise. I'm looking forward to it as well. The one thing I'll say on that one is we've been at it for the last couple of years. It's a really, really complex project. It's a top priority for us, but there are many top priorities as well on other areas. So trying to balance that and definitely hear you that we've accumulated a lot of value in Power Query Online that is not in desktop yet, and it's our goal to bring it there. In the meantime, we welcome your feedback within the Power Query Online and data flows experience as well.
Thank you, Miguel. There's another question, and the question is, when are the two data flow connections going to merge?
Good question. The question is, hey, we have two connectors for data flows today inside of Power BI Desktop, for example. We have a connector called Power BI Dataflows and a connector called Power Platform Dataflows, which actually in the last couple of releases got renamed to just Dataflows. This is imminent, and our path forward is to just have a single connector for data flows called data flows. How simple would that be, right? I won't entertain the background story on the last, the last couple of years of how we ended up there, but really you can think about that one data flows connector as the forward-looking one. And there's still a couple of issues or a couple of gaps on it compared to the Power BI Dataflows connector, which we're trying to fully fulfill before we actually hide the Power BI Dataflows connector from the experience. But if you can start using the Dataflows connector, just Dataflows, the one at the bottom of the Get Data category for Power Platform, that would be awesome.
Thank you, Miguel. I think that's what we have got from the question for the questions.
Okay, sounds good. Well, thank you so much, SQL Bits, for organizing this, for hosting us, for hosting this session. Thank you, everyone, for attending. Wish next time I'll be able to make it in person as well. And really looking forward to your feedback through any channels. SQL Bits is just this week, but we listen to feedback through the entire year. So use our community and ideas forums and all that to share your feedback. For us and for my team, really, the key goal is to build a product that customers love. And it all starts with listening to your feedback and making it happen. So thank you.